Ex who cheated on my brother. The day before our wedding shows up 12 years later. I found my fiance in bed with my brother the night before our wedding. That's how this starts. I was 26, 10 years into a relationship with the girl I thought I'd spend forever with. We met in high school, stayed together through college, moved in together right after graduation, built a life like we were following a playbook. 5 years under one roof. She knew the way I took my coffee. I knew when she was faking a laugh. We were synced in that way couples get when they've been glued together long enough to finish each other's sentences. I didn't think she was perfect, but she was mine. And I trusted her in a way I didn't even realize was trust until it got ripped out of me. The night before the wedding, she told me I should stay at a hotel. Said there was some old tradition where the bride and groom weren't supposed to sleep in the same house before the big day. I didn't argue. I kissed her goodbye, said I'd see her tomorrow at the altar, and left. I remember thinking it was kind of cute that she cared about silly superstitions. I didn't realize it was just a setup to get me out of the house. Couple hours later, I realized I'd left my dress shoes in the closet. The whole suit was already at the venue, but the shoes were still in the box at home. I figured I'd just swing by, grab them, and head back to the hotel. I didn't even call or text. I had a key. I didn't think I needed to warn my fiance that I was coming back to the house we shared. The lights were off when I pulled into the driveway. That was the first thing that felt off. She hated the dark. Wouldn't even go to sleep without one of those dumb little plug-in lights in the hallway. But the place was completely blacked out. No TV glow, no bathroom light, nothing. I stood in the doorway for a few seconds, listening. It was too quiet. I walked in. Shoes were the last thing on my mind the second I saw the purse on the floor. Heron, and then another pair of shoes, sneakers, not mine. I made it to the bedroom door. I didn't knock. I didn't want to think. I just opened it. They didn't hear me at first. They were too busy. It took a few seconds before she noticed me, before she screamed my name like I was the one who did something wrong, like I had invaded their moment. I didn't say a word. I didn't move. I looked at my younger brother, shirtless, trying to cover himself, frozen in place. He didn't even say anything. He just stared at me like I was a stranger, like he didn't just detonate my entire life. I ran, literally ran, back to my car, out of the driveway, down the street, until I finally pulled into the hotel parking lot and just sat there. I don't remember breathing. I remember shaking. I remember checking my phone and seeing message after message coming in. Her name, over and over. Long paragraphs. It was a mistake. I panicked. I didn't know what I was doing. I still want to marry you. I blocked her. I blocked my brother. I canceled the wedding without explaining. Lost deposits, lost the venue fee, didn't even show up to the florist to get the damn flowers. I didn't care. I didn't want to hear we're sorry or give her another chance. I wanted the whole thing erased, 10 years gone, just like that. I told my parents everything, every detail. My mom cried like someone had died. My dad went silent and stayed that way for hours. Then he called my brother, screamed at him so loud I could hear it from the other room. And that was it. They cut him off. Haven't spoken to him since. Neither have I. She came back once a week later to collect her things. I let her in, stayed on the other side of the room, didn't speak. She tried to talk. I didn't respond. I couldn't. If I opened my mouth, I was going to scream or break something or fall apart all over again. So I stood there like a corpse and watched her pack up the life we were supposed to have. I saw her again maybe 4 years after that. Some mutual friend's birthday party. I walked in, saw her, turned around, walked right back out. Didn't say a word. Didn't need to. My brother left the country a few months after everything happened. Some new job overseas. Never came back. Didn't even try to reach out. I don't know if he's married. Don't know if he has kids. Don't care. For a long time, I didn't date. Didn't want to. People said I was bitter. I wasn't. I just didn't trust anyone. Couldn't. The idea of opening up again, of letting someone that close, letting them into the house, into my head, into my life, I couldn't do it. Now I'm 38, and yeah, I moved on. I rebuilt. I met someone who made it feel safe again. We've been together 4 years. We're getting married soon. Real soon. And until last week, I thought the past was done. Dead and buried. But she came back. After 12 years. 12 years of silence, and now she was begging to talk. Said she regretted everything. Said I was the only man she ever loved. I read the message 3 times before saying anything. Then I told my fiance, no secrets. I didn't want this creeping into our life like mold. She read it over my shoulder and didn't even blink. Just asked, you want to respond? I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew one thing. She wasn't going to mess with me again and walk away untouched. We built the plan that night. My fiance was the one who said, let's give her what she wants. Closure. She said it dry without blinking. That's when I knew she had my back, no matter how ugly it got. I messaged the ex. Told her I'd be willing to meet, that I wanted to hear what she had to say. Told her to book a hotel near me. She did it within minutes, like she'd been waiting for that message since the day I disappeared from her life. The next day, I walked into the room alone. She'd cleaned herself up for it. Hair done, makeup soft, like we were 26 again and none of it ever happened. She started crying the second I sat down. Said she'd been too young, too scared, too confused. Said she didn't know why she did it. Said she thought about me every day for 12 years. I sat there nodding, like I gave a damn. She reached for my hand. I let her hold it. She leaned in like she thought this was some twisted reunion, like a decade of silence and a knife in my back could be fixed with tears and nostalgia. Then came the knock. I told her it was room service. She tried to pull herself together, and then the door opened. My fiancé stepped in first, holding a cake with my brother's face printed on it. Behind her, our entire bridal party walked in, all of them wearing cutout masks of my brother. Not laughing, just staring. Dead silent. The ex backed into the wall like she'd seen a ghost. She started crying again, this time ugly, loud, begging us to stop. Said it was cruel. Said she came here with good intentions. Said we were monsters. I told her no one invited her back into my life. That she had no right to dig up what she buried. That she deserved to feel exactly as small and broken as I felt 12 years ago. She tried to leave. My fiancé stepped aside. No one stopped her. We left too, right after. Later that night, some of the bridesmaids said we went too far. Said they didn't sign up for cruelty. 2 of them threatened not to come to the wedding unless I apologized. Said I crossed a line. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. The next morning, the house was too quiet. My fiancé made coffee but didn't drink it. She stared out the window while the pot kept hissing behind her. I asked if she was okay. She said yes, but she didn't look at me. I knew it wasn't just the bridesmaids, it was the weight of it all, like the timing, the pressure, the fact that we'd built something stable and now old garbage had crept in and started rotting corners we hadn't even noticed. I told her I'd fix it. She said, you don't owe anyone an apology. And I knew she meant it. Her best friend, someone she'd known since high school, returned the bridesmaid dress that afternoon with a note, not even a call, saying she hoped the wedding went well, but she wouldn't be attending. Another one ghosted. The last sent a long paragraph about how loyalty works both ways. My fiancé shrugged it off out loud, said it was probably for the best, said real friends wouldn't fold over one prank. But I could see it. She was hurt. Then my phone rang. Blocked number. I answered. Her voice was slow, weirdly calm, like she'd taken something or hadn't slept. She said, you still love me. That's why you did all this. I told her she needed to leave me alone. She said she knew I cared or I wouldn't have set up the prank. I said nothing, just hung up. 10 minutes later, another message. If you don't love me, just say it to my face. I didn't reply. I called her mother. No answer. Called her father. Disconnected number. I tried again. Texted, emailed, anything. Finally, hours later, her mom responded. She said she hadn't heard from her daughter in weeks. Said she'd try to get in touch. Said she was worried. I didn't know what else to do. The day of the wedding came. We got ready in separate rooms. The venue looked perfect. The air was tense, like we were all waiting for something to go wrong. But nothing did. We got married. We said our vows. The people who stayed were loud, happy, supportive. Her side of the bridal party? Empty chairs, we didn't replace them, didn't pretend. At the reception, she leaned in and said, I chose you, not them. That was all. No drama, no speech, just a quiet truth. It hit harder than anything else that day. That night, we came home exhausted, still half-dressed, still trying to make sense of everything. Then came the knock. She was standing there, luggage at her feet, hair a mess, face blank. She said, I'm moving in. I didn't understand at first. Thought maybe she was drunk or confused, but she wasn't. She walked right past me into the living room, sat down, looked around like she belonged there. My wife stood still, silent. The ex looked right through her, didn't even acknowledge her, just looked at me and said, "I know you love me. You wouldn't have gone through all that if you didn't." I told her to leave. She didn't move, said she had nowhere to go, said she didn't want to go with her parents, said she needed to stay here until I came around. She refused to hear no, wouldn't even look at my wife when she spoke, just stared at me like we were in some twisted movie she was directing in her head. I called my parents, told them what was happening. They showed up 30 minutes later. My dad tried reasoning with her. My mom offered to take her somewhere safe. She kept refusing, saying she felt fine, just misunderstood. Finally, we got her to agree to stay one night. That was all we could manage. The next morning, we drove her to a clinic. She argued on the way, said she didn't need help, but when we got there, something cracked. She went quiet, looked small, walked in on her own, took the paperwork, filled it out, said she was sorry. Later, I called her mom, told her everything. She broke down, said she'd move in with her daughter, said she'd make sure she got better. It felt different after she left. We didn't talk about it for 2 days, not because we were avoiding it, because there was nothing left to say. She showed up, she spiraled, we handled it, and now the wreckage was ours to sweep. My wife didn't cry about the bridesmaids, she didn't complain. She just started planning without them. She cut the head count, changed the playlist, moved the chairs. I watched her delete years of group chats and shared photo albums like she was clearing out expired food from the fridge. No drama, just done. When I asked how she felt, she said, "I saw what mattered." She meant me. United States. The fact that when it came down to it, we didn't cave to pressure. We didn't try to sugarcoat betrayal just to keep a few people comfortable. And that kind of honesty costs you people. The wedding went on. Different, but still ours. Smaller, cleaner, real. The energy in the room was different. Not loud, not over the top. Just people who showed up because they meant it. No one had to pretend. No one had to smile through tension. Everyone there wanted to be there. She walked down the aisle with her sister. No bridesmaids behind her, no drama. Just quiet strength. When we said our vows, she didn't say anything flowery. She said, "You never lied to me." That was it. Everyone clapped like it was the best line they'd ever heard, and maybe it was. Afterward, we ate, we danced, we cut the cake. Not the brother face one, obviously. Just a regular cake. She laughed for the first time in days. Not forced, not polite, just actual joy. We didn't do a big send-off, no sparklers, no fireworks, just slipped out while people were still drunk and talking. Got into the car, drove home, kicked our shoes off, and sat on the couch in silence. Married. A week later, I got a message from her mom. Said the ex was stable, said the meds were working, said she apologized for everything. Asked if we'd consider visiting her someday, just to give her some peace. I didn't respond right away. I asked my wife. She said, "That's your call." I sat with it for a few days. Not because I wanted to go, I didn't, but because a part of me needed to decide whether this was going to hang over me forever or not. I ended up calling the mom instead, told her I appreciated the update, said I was glad her daughter was getting help. But no, I wouldn't be visiting, she understood, and that was the real end.